Hey there everyone, and welcome to another Master Map run. This time I'm going to be doing it with a Knight. I'm going to be doing the Adamar's Sanctum map, Master difficulty, and going with a build that is very strong, but not particularly overpowered for doing this particular challenge. Now I've done this for Archer and Wizard already. You can go check out my channel to watch those videos. They are using a very similar kind of build, however it's actually a lot harder for them. Doing this as a Knight, you can put together some ridiculous combos that make you almost impossible to kill. And it means that actually this is really quite easy to do. So yeah, you'll see what I do here. Knights don't actually have pet skills, which means that normally they're not so good at doing this high level content. However, using this kind of setup, it's almost impossible to die. So I could be doing this a lot weaker. However, if I was a lot weaker, I wouldn't be killing the enemies quickly. So to keep it short, I've done it like this. So I've gone with a full water build. I'm just going to show you here first. I'm 500 promotion. My battle wings, I think they're 200? 200, yeah. I just kind of picked those numbers for, like, you know, absolute top end stuff. This lifesteal stat, I wish I did have lower lifesteal. However, it doesn't really, it's not really too important with this. I should have switched more elite spheres for elite crescents, where we don't have the lifesteal on them. But anyway, so I've gone with a water build, and so I've got 950% water. This could be lower. My damage output's pretty insane, but I'm stuck with it. I'm actually really short on time for this. If I look at the master maps here, they close in just over an hour. So yeah, gotta get through this quickly. So anyway, going into the character, the skill points. On the passives, I've got the 70 points, which I would do, the important ones, and you don't really need this max mana. However, if you had all the skill points in the world, you'd do those 10 points. Getting the PvP health isn't so important on Knight, so you may not actually do anything else other than these 7. Then we go to the active skills. So I really wanted to do a shadow build. You can get a really cool shadow build going on and bring in Sunder here, or you can do nature build. A nature build's very strong too, and then you can bring in dancing toxic. However, when I was looking at the different skills and how they fit together, water build looked like the strongest kind of thing to go for, so I've gone with the water build. And I've kind of maxed some skills which don't need to be maxed. Well, I say that actually, there's only one, and that's lay on hands here. That's just for the health regen. Doesn't really, it's not really necessary. But anyway, going into why this build is so good. The defensive skills really is what it comes down to on a Knight. There are a few defensive skills that really are so overpowered that when you bring them together with a cooldown potion, you become indestructible. So spikes here, if you get to level 99, you get a 300% armor buff. Now that's the equivalent of a 60% damage reduction. However, it doesn't stack with other damage reductions. So if you say have a 60% and a 60%, they don't become 120% damage reduction. They become 60% of the remaining, if you can follow with what I mean by that. So it just makes you a lot more tanky, and then it's on top of everything else. So everything you're taking like less than half damage. This is like the wizard armor buff. However, it's constant. You just need to make sure you notice when it's on, and then when it disappears, then you quickly click it back on again. As well as that, the ice needles, they do. That's the only skill in which actually crits with the damage. So this damage is actually very good on anything that hits you, along with the attack damage being 400%. So yeah. Any melee attacks on you, they take a lot in return. And then we've got the proper defense skills. So that's just like a kind of buff on top of what you normally have. Then you have Protector and Holy Shield. Now with these skirrings on, the Protector skirring doesn't really do that much. Getting this to level 99 boosts it up from 60% to 75% damage reduction. Not absolutely necessary, but I did it here because it does help out a lot. Because this you can have on almost constantly. And then with the 6% damage reduction we've got here, you're taking very little damage when you do get hit, outside of the other things that are going on. And the other thing that's going on is Holy Shield. So with Shield of Frost or Shield of Light, you get a 40% damage reduction buff for 5 seconds after the shield ends. So when you use this, you get a little shield, that will go away very quickly. And then you get this 40% damage reduction. Now that stacks on top of the Protector one, and makes you literally indestructible for 5 seconds. This with a 15-second cooldown, and then a cooldown potion on it, means you can use it like every, I think it's 6 seconds. Now, considering you've got a 5-second buff of indestructible. And then there's only a like 2 or 3 second window outside a protector when you don't have that on. You can see how the windows where you can actually be hurt are very small. So yeah, and when there is a window, you can pop on Lord of Winter. So I've got this level 99 because that makes it 10 seconds duration rather than 7. Not absolutely necessary, but it's just very nice to have, and makes the mana cost go ridiculous. So you wouldn't do this normally unless you had a lot of mana. But anyway, that is another lovely way to sort of close off one of the holes where you can die. And then this is like an instant heal that gives you a shield of 100% of your health. So yeah, that kind of helps you survive a few seconds and can close off any window where you might die. But ultimately, what you want to do is keep on top of the spikes as best as you can, and then otherwise spam these 2 skills and you're pretty much good to go. If your health drops at all, you put on Lord of Winter, and yeah, that's great. So yeah, the defenses are just ridiculous, and you almost don't die, so I just have to keep on top of it as well as I can. If you forget anything, then you do die. And then we move into the damage things. So in Rage here, Demon's Rage is the best skill rune, I would say, for it. Freezing Rage would add some water damage, which is quite good. However, that's static damage, so with such high damage that I have, it's not really going to do much. But mainly because Demon's Rage gives you the damage buff for a longer time, because as you get hit, it then stacks on its own damage buff, which doesn't stack on top of the damage buff you have already. However, it lasts for 10 seconds, and the skill itself lasts for 7 seconds. So the skill rune will add this damage buff for a longer time, and mean that you keep that higher damage for a longer time, as well as giving you some more armor, like you need that. So anyway, that's a brilliant damage buff that, I mean, we'll see how much it pushes the damage up from 144,000 to 227. So yeah, that's very high. Anyway, so then onto the other skills. So that's pretty much all the damage, all the defense skills and the buffs. And then for the actual damage skills, I've only got 3. Those 3 are Maim, which is Flowing Blades. I could have this level 99, but I've just got it 5 seconds, so I can spam it off really quickly. I mean, the water damage is the main thing here because I've got such ridiculously high water stat. Then I've got Empowered Water Cleave. This I do have level 99, just because the cooldown is so short that you may as well have it level 99, and you can still spam it off. This is with the cooldown potion on. Otherwise, you might want sort of a mid-level thing with a cooldown of 3 seconds or something. That's probably your best bet for for best efficiency. So this has ridiculously high water damage on it. So that will be a great damage dealer. So that's about, I mean, ignoring the static damage, this is 180%, let's call it. 180% water each time you use it. The other damage skill is Freezing Aura. Now this hits 5 times, and it's going to be doing, again ignoring the static damage, 5 times 80% water, which means it's going to be doing like 400% water each time you use it, which is obviously quite a bit stronger than the Empowered Water Cleave. However, this doesn't have such a short cooldown, and yeah, but it's still great for a damage dealer. I mean, this is the main damage dealer, I'd say. It does the same damage per skill use as Flowing Blades, however it's an area of effect, so that's pretty cool. So yes, those are the 3 damage skills. All 3 are water, and they're going to be doing all the damage you need. Then the final skill, which I haven't talked about, is Sparkling Gift. Now this works very much like the Festive Spirit skill rune on Archer, which is where all the enemies get pulled into one place. Except with this, you charge forwards onto an enemy, and all the enemies get pulled into that enemy. It may seem like a bad thing until you realise that you can become indestructible for the majority of the time. So yeah, you just not teleport in, you charge in, and then pull all the enemies into you. You then cleave and whirl, and they all die. That's the idea, and you just got to keep up your defences. So it's pretty simple when it comes down to it. The only thing is that you've got a lot of skills you need to keep on top of, and if you make any mistakes, then you die. So I haven't really practiced that much, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and I shouldn't have too much trouble. Just hope that the talking doesn't distract me. Anyway, so let's get on with the run, and I hope you enjoy it. So at the beginning here, we're going to apply all the different buffs. I actually forgot to say about Enrage that the main use for it originally was to give you auto crit, and yeah, it does that. That alone hugely buffs your damage output in this kind of map, and it's why you'll see, if you watch the other videos with the difference between the three classes, knights and wizards are actually quite a bit faster than archers going through this, and that's because you have that auto crit on those classes, whereas archers don't have any way to get auto crit. And in these particular maps, because the enemies are so tough, you're not critting a lot of the time, and so actually archers are doing a lot less because of that. You can't tell with the elemental damage because it looks the colour of the element, and so you can't actually see if it's a crit or not. But yeah, you can notice the difference like there. Like, I mean, I just wiped those enemies out super fast, and yeah, that's because of the auto crit that's going on. So yeah, I haven't really had much I need to talk about right now because, as you can see, I'm just kind of wiping them all out. But I'm going to put angelic form on just now because I wasn't paying attention to things, and I want to make sure that I do have defenses on. It's really useful if you haven't been keeping track of stuff and you don't know when your defenses are coming off, because having that 90% damage reduction means you're going to be surviving. And I'm pretty sure spikes came off then before I reapplied it. No, it didn't. Okay, I don't have any spikes right now. That's a shame. It still shows the spikes because the skill rune effect's on, but the spikes armor buff is not on. Okay, so I'm going to reapply everything now. Go charging into this area, and can kill all those enemies before they even damage me. Well, can damage me, I mean. Into that window where I could be hurt just for a very short period of time. And clearing through these enemies. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to go into this slightly tougher bit. This is where I can mess up quite easily. I need to make sure I don't get too cocky, because it's very tempting to draw all the enemies in, and then but then if I mess up with anything, so there's a window where I can be killed, then I die almost instantly. So I'm making sure I'm not drawing in both the imps. I did, for a bit of fun, draw all these enemies in at once last run, and you might have noticed my potions, I failed the first run, and it was because of that. I thought it would be fun to draw them all in, but actually I can die. So yeah, better to play it safe and to go with what I know, which is to take these enemies out one by one like this. Cool. Okay, so now we've got the boss battles. The boss battles are very tough, as we saw in the other classes, but it is definitely a lot easier with this. The impossibly difficult boss with the other classes is now possible. So yeah, I'm pretty much just going to stand here and tank whatever the boss throws at me. The third boss might be kind of interesting because he can do a lot of damage. Oh, actually, I was saying that. This one was doing a lot of damage to me. Yes, that was pretty close actually. I wasn't concentrating. So yeah, when you start smashing the ground doing all that damage, I do need to move. That's the thing. You just got to watch out for the big boss attacks, and otherwise keep your defenses up and keep spamming the attack moves. So yeah, that's the first boss down. Now we've got the second boss, which is the spider. The little spiders aren't going to be any trouble at all, because I've got the area of effect damage. You might notice I'm not actually using maim that much, because you don't really need it, to be honest, spamming the other skills. I prefer the short animation of the other skills. Actually, to be fair, I haven't really tested it, so I don't know how long the animations compare, but anyway. I'm very cautious spamming the damage skills because I want to pay most of my attention to the defense skills. As you saw there, no trouble at all with that boss. Now we've got the problem boss, which I'll need to make sure I do have my defenses on properly. So now I'm looking for either of his special attacks. If he uses either one, I'm going to run for it. He's standing still. That doesn't... Oh my god, I don't know what got me there. Bummer. Okay, I actually died. Darn it. I'm going to keep going though because I'm pressed for time, so screw this, just going to have to go with it. Okay, so we're going to keep attacking the boss, which we're going to get the other side. Oh, okay, he's doing this move, so I'm going to run, charge back in there, make sure I keep my defenses on, And we should be good now. Yep, cool, he's down. Okay, so now we got the Serpent boss. The Serpent boss was like impossibly hard on the other classes. However, with this class, it is possible. So we're going to pretty much do the same thing as we were before. And I'm going to be very ready, prepared to use Angelic Form. So I just did there because my 3-second window of no protector was coming on. And I want to make sure I'm literally indestructible. I put protector back on so I know I'm completely safe right now. And then, how's the boss doing? Okay, I'm going to put the shield on as well, just in that little window there. And so I didn't have any trouble there. And Angelic Form's coming back off, so I can put that on. And we're completely safe. I don't think I could have taken any damage in that, really. And we've got it crashed. Nope, we're not crashed. It's all good. I might have lost spikes in there somewhere, actually. I forgot about spikes. But, oh well. It was all good. So now we've got the final boss, who shouldn't be much trouble at all. I'm just going to make sure I keep putting that enrage on, because I think that is where I do a load of damage, and outside of that I don't do much. Alright, let's put Angelic Form on, because he's just using that little annoying move that can kill me again. It's another one of those dodgy ones that can actually deal some damage. But I mean, when you're completely indestructible, you can't take any damage, so it's all cool. Okay, so that was the run. That was about 6-7 minutes, so a fair bit faster than the other classes. And like I said, you can actually take down the Serpent boss. I mean, it's clearly a lot more solid than the other two classes. It's just a case of maybe, you know, outside of Enrage, you're not doing so much damage. But like I said, archers have that all the time. They don't have any auto crit, and then wizards, they have the auto crit, but then they rely on being able to, you know, tank and deal with that stuff, because drakes aren't as reliable as decoys. And yeah, anyway, that was the run. I hope you enjoyed it. The knights are definitely the most fun for me to play, doing this kind of stuff, because when you use a cooldown potion on a knight, you just go absolutely ridiculous. And to be honest, I know a lot of the defense skills are nerfed in PvP. However, in the second half of the match, even with them nerfed, I feel like there's a lot you can do there which just makes you so impossible to kill. And I'd love to see more knights using the skills in combinations, like I said, like I was doing in this video, and seeing exactly how effective it is. I was literally talking about it earlier today with a friend, and he was saying how Shield of Light, Shield of Frost, it just isn't that effective in PvP. Because that skill, that 40% damage reduction, is not actually nerfed in PvP. The skill itself is nerfed to the point it's almost unusable. However, the 40% damage reduction for 5 seconds, I feel like there is a use there in with Protector when you've got when you're in that second half of the match. I think that could be exceptionally good. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I hope you've had a good new year, and I hope you enjoyed these videos. If you haven't seen the Wizard and the Archer the Archer runs, do go check them out on my channel. And otherwise, I will see you in another video soon. Thanks very much for watching.